Do some biologists study zombies? The answer is yes, although the word zombie can be used in multiple different scenarios. So, some biologists use the word zombie, jokingly, to refer to those microorganisms and small animals which have been frozen under ice since the last glaciation. They can be thousands, tens of thousands of years old or older. They have been frozen. But as climate change causes the melting of ice and ice retreats and permafrost melts, there have been instances where viruses have now been able to, say, infect amoeba that were frozen under ice, or that bacteria have begun to divide again, or even simple animals like worms and rotifers. And so some biologists will jokingly use the word zombie to refer to these organisms, which are a quite serious field of study, given that as the permafrost melts, there may be some diseases which strike organisms on Earth today, or even perhaps humans, from disease causing microorganisms which had been trapped in ice. There are other examples of biologists studying zombies, but once again, there is some license with how the word is being used. So, for example, many biologists are becoming interested in the deep biosphere, the microbes which live deep under the continents, deep under the oceans. These may compose a half of all bacteria and maybe a third of life on Earth. Estimates vary because this area is a difficult field of biology to study. How can life thrive in such inhospitable conditions? Well, it doesn't thrive by perhaps our understanding of the word. Many organisms would reproduce extremely slowly, perhaps completing a cell cycle in hundreds or even thousands of years by the measurements which we are able to take. So in this case, they are alive, but alive in a very different rate of metabolism than we are used to here on the surface. There is still another scenario in which the term zombie might be used, but once again, not entirely seriously. And this is when there is the host of a parasite, perhaps a parasitic fungus, or perhaps a fluke like the lancet liver fluke, which can pass from one host, snails, and be ingested by ants. But when the fluke infects the ants, it affects their nervous system, so they act differently. They no longer act the way normal ants do, but then begin to act in a way which helps the spread of the parasite. So, in which case, the fluke has to some degree taken over the nervous system and behavior of its host. So, this is another scenario where one might see a joking reference to the word zombie in biology.